Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern time zone, as we get to ride home with you in the afternoon. You can find us on television. We are syndicated on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And don't forget the podcast on thenewscasters.com. And where a lot of people are listening to AP right now is the Country Giant right here in Abbeville, South Carolina. And that's WZLA radio, and you can find them at 93.1. It's just a great station to listen to, and great friends out there. And make sure you listen to their morning show also, and that begins at 6 a.m. in the morning, and that's on the Eastern time zone as well. Got AP Steadham with me, and he gives complete coverage of the SEC and beyond. AP, we got an interesting football season out here.
Oh, every week, Donna. It's fascinating, right? I mean, Vanderbilt, you can't keep up with them enough, right? To watch them and their journey from a couple of years ago of 0 wins in the conference to now, Donna, they are actually challenging to maybe be in the championship game of the league or possibly earn a berth with one of the 12 spots in the college football playoff. That's a remarkable story in an ascent from the depths of college football to now you might be one of the final 12 at the end of the year.
Well, with the new additions and with players being paid and that kind of thing, what is setting them apart from other teams?
Yeah, I think that they've spent money down at Vanderbilt, and you had the capacity and ability with the changes in the rules to acquire talent. They have a good coach, Clark Lee. We've seen that. He's been very successful in some other places as a coordinator, and he's trying to build his alma mater, Vanderbilt. And we've seen that he has a personnel department that's able to evaluate correctly and offer the money to players who will be productive in the SEC, one of the top leagues in the country.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely working. So are other teams getting a little, because they were a joke we got to admit it. They were a joke a few years ago. They're something to contend with now.
They can beat you. Anybody in the league. Okay, they traveled to Texas this week, and Texas is coming off a overtime win over Mississippi State where they were down way beyond double digits, way beyond 10 points, 17, 21 points, whatever it was at the time. So they're traveling to Austin, Texas. And Donna, last year, in the second year of rebuilding and things, or even more, I guess, they took Texas to a 27-24 game. It was a tight ball game in Nashville. And Texas is not playing all that well. And Vanderbilt has so much confidence. And there's been an infusion of confidence with Diego Pavia, that transfers from Mexico State at the quarterback position. He's in the Heisman race as well. And the team is in contention for a playoff berth, maybe possibly the SEC championship game, one of the last 2 teams. So I know that they're fired up to play Texas down in Austin. And Texas, their quarterback, Arch Manning, was in concussion protocol. So they might have the backup quarterback who came in last week and threw the one pass, the touchdown for the game-winning score. And Donna, he's from Alabama, and he played at Troy. He's a transfer from Troy. Mm-hmm. So he might get the opportunity to play against Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt believes they can win anytime they're on the field, which is something completely new. Yeah.
They're not a joke anymore, that's for sure. No. Let's talk about your top 5, and then let's talk about the ball games.
Yeah, Donna, the top 5 that I have in my last poll, my particular top 5 was Ohio State, out of the Big Ten, Indiana, out of the Big Ten, Georgia, Texas A&M was still undefeated, and Alabama, number 5. And in the actual poll, that the composite 50-plus voters, they had Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Alabama 4, and Georgia 5. They kind of switched a few things, but they had this essentially the same top 5, just in a slight different order than I did on my ballot.
Well, is Georgia kind of losing a little bit of their power?
No, Georgia's fine. They're sitting pretty. They have to entertain a couple, big games coming up. They're going to this week, Georgia, they play that annual rivalry against Florida in Jacksonville. Of course, Florida, they had fired their coach Billy Napier, so Georgia's playing in Jacksonville, and I expect them to win again. And they travel to Starkville to play Mississippi State. And the games they have left on Texas, which can beat you. Texas can score enough points to beat you. Obviously, they have some talent, but that's a home game for them. Then they play Charlotte, which that's a warm-up game for Georgia. And then Georgia Tech, good football team, top-rated team, one of the teams that can possibly be in the top 12 at the end for the college football playoff, maybe win the ACC. So they've got some games left that could give them a scare, but Georgia's in a good position.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit of Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama played the tight ball game against South Carolina. South Carolina, they're not having a very good year. They were prepared to play and beat Alabama. They had the lead, and Alabama was able to tie it up near the end and go win that ball game. And South Carolina really had the ball game down, and they fumbled right near the end of the game, and they gave up that field position, and Alabama went in and beat South Carolina. South Carolina, that was a game that could have been the best one of the year for them, and they let it slip away. But when you have teams that aren't winning, Donna, they do things in critical moments to turn the ball over to the other team. They give the other team an opportunity to score when it should have been South Carolina was in control with the ball, and they fumbled and gave Alabama a chance to go ahead, and they did.
Well, it could have been a redeeming moment for them.
Yeah, it could have been the best moment of the year to beat Alabama at home. All those fans, when I keep telling you, South Carolina, the state of South Carolina has the best fans that I've seen, most loyal, win, lose, or draw.
Well, our folks here in South Carolina wanted me to ask you, several folks wanted me to ask you about Clemson, and possibility of a new coach.
Yeah, that's something that, Dabo has brought national championships to Clemson, league championships, winning football back to Clemson. Are they determined to let him review this year and come up with an alternate plan for next year? I mean, he's been there a long time. I'm thinking I'm going to stay with him. We're going to have some conversations about maybe his recruiting, his evaluation, his coordinators possibly, because Dabo had those coordinators for a long time down, and then they left the program. Now there's some chinks in the armor, and they've lost ball games. The teams they should have beaten this year, and so I think you have to stay with Dabo. He knows how to win football games. Now, can he get back to that championship caliber? I don't think I'm looking out there for someone else to bring in and take over for Dabo. Not yet. I will give him this opportunity, but it has to be a conversation, and he has to be willing to present a plan moving forward, not the same one from the past, because the world changed, right? We have the transfer portal, we have NIL. So how do you apply those new rules to make your team to be on a path to be in contention again?
Mm-hmm. I think Dabo needs to stay home and just tweak a few things, and I think he'll be fine.
I think he would too, and I would review his coaching staff, and if they're willing to change or he's willing to bring in new personnel, I would have those discussions, but I wouldn't let it slide without having that face-to-face discussion with the athletic director and the president as well.
Well, with the games that were played over the past weekend, is there a play that you'd like to discuss right now, whether it's a good one or a bad one?
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say that fumble by South Carolina, that was critical because they had Alabama right where they wanted them. And all they had to do was really hold on to the football, and they would have given themselves a chance to have a huge upset. And it would have been a great moment for them. But that one play, Down a possession, ball security, that's number one. When you approach the game, number one, ball security. We must keep possession of the football. No interceptions, no fumbles. That's our primary task as a football team. Keep possession of the ball to give ourselves a chance. We can't give it to the other team and give them an extra possession in a tight ball game specifically. And especially when you're the underdog, you must play well. And that includes no turnovers, being smart. When you're going into the middle line like that on a carry, you have to hold on to that ball tight and just be ready because they're going to be looking to knock it out, which they did. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that, to me, over the weekend, there's a lot of spectacular plays, but that's a fundamental play.
Absolutely, man. It's getting tighter, and we're getting closer to the end of the season. So, as far as next week, do you have any information about that game? And I'm talking South Carolina.
Yeah, the games next week, Donna. We have 6 games in the conference, Donna, SEC. We have Mississippi State and Arkansas. Both teams do not have a win in the conference. They're 0-4. We have Kentucky struggling, playing at Auburn. Auburn finally came up with a win. They beat Arkansas on the road. They were behind by behind, and they came back, the second half to win that ball game, which was great for Auburn. We have the Florida and Georgia game. That's the annual rivalry. Florida had fired their coach, so they have an interim coach there. And Georgia looking to proceed to the SEC championship game and the college football playoff, or both. And then we have South Carolina. They're taking on Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off an excellent win on the road against Oklahoma. So Ole Miss is the hot team. South Carolina going on the road after that tough loss against Alabama at home. Then we have Oklahoma, who had the loss to Ole Miss at home, playing at Tennessee. Tennessee beat Kentucky 56-34. So Tennessee is looking to maintain that record of just those 2 losses and trying to be in contention for the college football playoffs. And then we have the Vanderbilt game. Vanderbilt at Texas. Vanderbilt looking at 7-1 down. 7-1, 3-1 in the conference. Texas 6-2, 3-1 in the conference. Vanderbilt had that dramatic victory at home, 17-10 over Missouri, a good football team. So Vanderbilt's trying to continue their winning ways, and Texas is trying to really hang on.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Let's talk Auburn for a few minutes. You've been kind of out there in the boondocks there, so to speak.
Right. They brought in the second string quarterback, Ashton Daniels. He's a transfer from Stanford, and he led them to the victory. So, and I thought, Donna, at the beginning of the season, Hugh Freeze, he mentioned using more than one quarterback. I thought that would happen. Uh-huh. But it took till last week for them to really make that significant change during a critical moment in the ballgame. It wasn't at the end of a game where they were winning, because Auburn hasn't had many wins. That was their first one in the conference. So I'm surprised Hugh Freeze, he maintained the same quarterback the last half a dozen weeks or so with Jackson Arnold. I thought he might have used a couple different quarterbacks, but he did last week, and it proved to be the right move.
Yeah, making the same mistake over and over again is not wise. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, I was, because especially when you haven't been winning down, you don't owe your allegiance to a quarterback that hasn't been winning. Mm-hmm. And I know he brought him in as a transfer and made some promises, I'm sure, but the coach's responsibility is to the team. It's not to one player. And every player should understand. We have people on scholarship. We might start you, but we might insert someone else. They're on scholarship as well, and it's a competition.
Totally get it. We're going to have to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there. We'll talk more football coming up next.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of the Cobb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Age Television Talk Show where Truth Matters. I'm with my friend AP Steadham, who's been with us a number of years. He has exclusive coverage of the SEC and beyond. Let's talk about your show. That show's growing too.
Yeah, Donna, we had a lot of fun last week. Pete Futak is the publisher of College Football News, and Pete, Donna, he has a storyline usually about all 136 FBS level college football programs. That's Division I for people not familiar with the term FBS. So, Pete, we discussed the SEC. We had a lively interaction, and I always value his opinion because he looks around the countryside and sizes up these teams and all the players and the coaches and things. But Donna, I know one thing people on your show, they probably maybe mentioned to you, Brian Kelly. I was at the Texas A&M at LSU game on Saturday evening, and LSU was ahead at halftime. Don, they actually had the lead at halftime, ended up losing by a big score, 49-25. And then on Sunday, they fired the coach, Brian Kelly. And Brian Kelly has a $54 million buyout. And now, Donna, something interesting about the story is the athletic director at LSU, he also hired Jimbo Fisher, so he had to pay the $75 million buyout at Texas A&M. And here he is, he's having to pay the $54 million buyout. So those are the two largest buyouts in college football history attributed to the same athletic director.
I just can't believe it. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, bonehead idea. It really is.
Yeah, Donna, the idea that the same person made this mistake twice and you live to tell about it, I would say that he's on the hot seat too when he hires the next coach at LSU, because there's no way in this era where we're having to not only pay the coaches high salaries, we're having to receive money for the players as well.
Yeah.
So how can we give $54 million and the players trying to come to our school and then, we don't have any money? Well, yeah, you paid $54 million to the coach to let them stay at home. So you have to find a balance somewhere. And I keep proposing this, Donna. I'm going to guarantee the first 2 years of the contract, and you'll get a top salary in the profession. Right now, it's Kirby Smart. I always use him as the guideline. He's the top at $13 million. So if I'm at LSU, I'm going to pay you 10, 11, 12 million, but only 2 years. If I fire you after 2 years, you won't be a pauper. I can guarantee you. You can live on 20 million, and your family can, and some of your ancestors as well. But I'm not guaranteeing you. Let's say 5 to 10 years. I mean, Brian Kelly, that's $100 million coach, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they signed him for, $100 million. And that's why it's only 55 million or so, because he was there for 4 years. So, but I'm not signing you for 100 million for 10 years. I'm just not, because the world changes. So I might sign you to a 4-year deal, guarantee the first 2. And after that, we'll roll it over each year. I think that's very fair. Now, the agent's going to say, oh, no, we're not taking that deal. We'll go to some other school, but we're going to get somebody who's a good football coach. And there's a little bit of I would say a combination of a couple of things, Don. There's a reluctance, there's a fear, and I'll use this term, maybe a little bit of laziness on the part of these athletic directors. Why are you not seeking out every single candidate within that 136 teams that are out there, FBS, all types of assistants are on the staff? Has to be somebody on those staffs that you feel can be a head coach. Why are you not researching them and trying to find somebody who can be a very good head coach? Because they're at top level, Don. Let's say, I know the defensive coordinator at Penn State makes $3 million. Let's say you're looking at somebody who makes $1 million as a coordinator. You're offering them, let's say, $6 million guaranteed for 2. That's $12 million. So in the next 2 years, that person's scheduled to make $2 million. You're offering them 12 guaranteed, and you're not offering them the 50, 60. But you take that to that coach, and his wife looks at those numbers. She's going to say, Junior, I didn't sit in the front of math class, but 2 is less than 12. And we're getting a shot to be in command, total command of the program as the head coach. Let's take that deal. Okay, I know we're not getting the deal that Brian Kelly received, 10 years, $100 million. But we're getting a contract guaranteed at, let's say, $12 million for 2 years, maybe $20 million. Maybe they pay him $8 million, or maybe it's $16 million. But that's way more than $2 million, okay? That's 8 times the value. So if you look at it from that perspective and you believe this person has the talent, and I'm not saying young either, I'm saying anybody who's an assistant coach. And I use the example of Kurt Signetti, 64 years old. He just signed the contract, $93 million at Indiana. There was nobody running to hire him as a head coach. He took a chance on himself, went Division II down, not even FCS, which is one level down. That's Division 1A. People know that's the Division 1A. He went down to Division II, worked his way up to 2 or 3 schools, and he was at James Madison, his last program, brought some of those players. Look at Indiana down at number 2 in the country. Indiana, who has historically the worst program in America. So this idea that I'm hiring somebody with a big name, we see it hasn't worked out twice for the same athletic director. 75 million and 54 million. So what are you doing as an athletic director? If I'm on the board of trustees, okay, all right, you're bringing me these names. Yeah, I know these names. I'm familiar with these people. But if you sought out other people who maybe that were not on the list, that were big names, that were very qualified, and they needed to be given a chance, that's what I'm asking as a board of trustee member. Yeah, we can go after, for instance, LSU and Florida are looking for a coach. The name that pops up is Lane Kiffin. Okay, Lane Kiffin, what is his? He has a few big wins. He's done things at Ole Miss that hasn't been accomplished. But I'm saying he beat Georgia last year. That's probably his biggest win. But he lost to Kentucky, the team on the bottom as well, the same year. Okay, he didn't get in the playoffs last year, and he had a really good team with talent that he bought, and it had the length and the size on the defense. That's how he described that unit. But he didn't make the playoffs because he lost to Kentucky. Then he went down to Florida, who was struggling at the time with Billy Napier, lost down there. So I don't think necessarily he's the be-all, end-all as a coach. There are other people out there. And if you want to pay these big guaranteed salaries and get into this fix again, and I just keep trying to tell people, I can't believe the university attorney or the attorneys are before the president and the athletic director and saying, let's hurry up and sign this deal. Oh, by the way, if he's not successful, we have to pay out $50 million. But that's a good deal for us.
I
can't believe they say that with a straight face.
I just don't get it. And this reminds me of GTE when I worked with them a number of years. I was corporate with them. Okay, so GTE had this plan that if you wanted to go back to college, further your degree, they would reimburse you for everything. I mean, the whole. But this is the deal. You had to sign a contract that you would be with them for 1 year. Okay. Or you would get their money back.
Right.
And I totally got that. I mean, it made a whole lot of sense to me. But that didn't mean forever and ever in my entire life that they would pay for me, doctorate, that kind of stuff.
No. So what I think, I hope this happens, Donna, is there's one athletic director with the courage and the vision to say, okay, enough is enough. Like I say, we're coming up with a 2-year guarantee plan. It'll be top level money, but we're not guaranteeing you we're not guaranteeing you 5 to 10 years. And if the agent doesn't like it, they can go rob somebody else, but they're not robbing us because we have to pay these players now. We need money, not just for coaches, but for players as well. That's a whole new variable in the equation, Donna. Before it was zero, except for the scholarship. I'm not including the scholarships. That was a given. But now that zero went to millions.
Well, you're giving that guy too much power. He has way too much power spending your money like that for your college. That makes no sense.
No, it's not based on accomplishment at all. Like I said, if you win, lose, or draw, you guarantee the 2 years. We understand that. Yeah. But we'll roll it over after each year if we think that you've been performing to our satisfaction.
It's just like a regular job requirement. We're going to do a review and then we'll look at it.
Yeah, it's reasonable. You're the highest paid person in the state at some of these universities. You have to perform like everyone else.
Yeah, but
you don't get performance. They fire coaches all the time. The head coach fires coaches all the time. We're not performing.
Yeah, but this is the gig. Okay, this is money coming out of your college, so to speak. Okay, right. You want your college to make, and they're begging for money. I mean, always, and they overcharge the students who come in to help with this. I know there's a board of trustees and all that stuff too, but the whole thing is like me. Okay, I want Abundance Television to make a profit. I want WZLA Radio to make a profit because guess what? If they're still in business, well, then I'm going to have a place to broadcast my shows.
Right.
So that's what it's all about. AP, we've got to go. We're a little bit behind. Thank you so much for being with me on the show. I love these discussions. And you know what, AP? We're not the only ones who think this way. All our listeners are doing the same thing. It's like they're scratching their head like, why is this happening?
Right, exactly.
Thank you so much for being with me, AP. And thank you guys so much for watching. We definitely appreciate it. Continue sending email. I appreciate it. Donna@donnasedge.com. Donna@donnasedge.com. We'll be with you next time.